How are you? A CD section here with a little story time about the whole name to begin with, Ahnist, and why I picked that name, and why do I even had to deal with the fact that it just sounds kind of like anus. Well, here's the cool reason why. Here's the whole the scoop on it. The whole beginning, just in case this goes for record someday. I was just gonna go by A. Romero, or AR, off of the horror director George A. Romero, and I was like, hey, that sounds like a cool writer's name. Sounds like a great, just like I can go which way, whatever. A. Romero, A.R. And then I found out about Archbishop Romero, who was a priest or someone important in the church in El Salvador, that had a significant peaceful following and had there's a crazy story that I'd say you definitely check out and research. And so I kind of based it off having that kind of backbone of a story from my homeland. So Archbishop Romero, simply known as A. Romero. And then around 2011, 2012, it came to my discovery about one or two artists that had a type of name like it. And one specifically, the dude most inspiring to me was a DJ, beat maker, producer by the name of Anu, A-H-N-N-U, who has the most, just to me to this day, just the most expansive style of beat production. It's off kilter, beyond so. And I'd recommend you check him out. I'll link it up in the video. And just and finding out the origin with his name going back to the Anunnaki, and that I forget if it was the Egyptians or an ancient civilization, and the Anunnaki being the people of the gods or of godlike being. And so that persona made sense with him, Anu, just his sound. World music is one of his tapes I'd recommend highly. And it seemed fitting. And I was like, that'd be cool to be similar name of the group of related to of the gods. I'm like, that's a great background. Like that's some Odyssey type shit. And I figured, all right, what's creative enough, what's decent enough. And of course, at the time, I was working some backroom job, and I would just go on break and get some drinks, teas, whatever. And one stood out, Ahnist tea, the classic, they had blueberry, whatever flavors, pomegranate. And I was thinking, hey, what's a kind of a cheesy but workable looking good name? And I was like, oh, I could put Ahnist, like A-H-N, on, like on and off, like on, or whatever. And so Ahnist seems like the perfect fit to be something of the gods, like just like rhyme-ish, like that word rhymes. So since 20-something, 12, 13, I just took it and in my head I'm like, this is untouchable name. This can't, it doesn't say anything bad in other languages. I think Korean or Tagalog might be a verb possibly, but not nothing funny or devastating. Until I get friends who would like come up to me and be like, is your name Ahnist? And I'm like, oh no, like not at all. And that's totally not what I intended. But yet the result of it though is kind of a resilience I built up with it, because now it's totally it's off of my hands. It's off limits of like how to mess with it, how to fuck around with the name. So obviously people might joke around and be like Ahnist, but obviously it's supposed to be honest, like the T, and I'm fine with it. I'm gonna stick with it for real. I recall I dated back to, there was an article sometime early in Joey Badass's career that labeled the top 10 rappers that need to change their names, and one of them was Joey Badass. And looking back on that article now to here, I'm gonna say, as a fan of his, I'm glad he didn't change it. I'm glad he didn't just go by Joey Bad or something. He kept the ass in it with the dollar signs. Like, as cheesy as you want to be, as cheesy as anyone else thinks it is, he stuck by it. And look at it, all American badass, before the money, aka badass. So I'm gonna stick by it. I wanna see how far I can push it. And if, in worst case scenario, I can fall back on A. Romero. My SoundCloud is still A_Romero. Sometimes I just go by the full name, and it still sounds like a writer's name. So I'm gonna stick by my shit, and that's the general origin of Ahnist. So till next time, CD section, we out.